I've got some good news, and then I've got some kind of bad news. So there were several like games from this live titles that Capcom took down some years ago. They had like added this notice to the store page. We have an issue that some customers may be experiencing during game installation. I think the issue was that you could no longer. I think it was either. Yeah, I think the problem was that Microsoft stopped generating keys for games when it's live, right? So like it was impossible to like buy new copies basically. And I think it was like, isn't it like years ago since they took it down? I want to say like 2021. So now they're finally actually patching these games, and it's a bunch of games. It's Lost Planet 2, Lost Planet Colonies, and Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. There's some other that used to be games when it's live. I think RE5. Well, oh yeah, RE5 was one of them, but that was part of Steamworks back in 2015. I think Dead Rising 2 and Dead Rising 2 Off the Record were also moved to Steamworks a bunch of years ago. But anyway, they're actually finally updating this, which is good. The downside is kind of how they're doing it. So what they've done is that they don't seem to be actually doing a proper patch. This is not them taking the source code out of storage, writing cool words and recompiling it. No, they're taking the old binaries and kind of like updating them in like a hacky way. So for instance, in the new update, there's now like an xlive.dll file. Like this is the DLL file library used for games with live. So now it's a bit like a dummy file where I'm assuming that basically every single function call does like nothing. And they've also patched a little bit of machine code in the binary for the game to like fix a bug because Lost Planet 2 had a pretty major bug where if I recall, if you had a CPU, I think it was 6 and more cores, the game would just crash at boot up. So that is something they like fixed by like finding the binary code, like finding the machine code and like figuring out how to like work around it by editing machine code, which I don't know, it's so weird. Why not just make a proper patch? They have the source code. They would have the source code, right? So I feel like, I don't know, I'm very puzzled by their approach. But yeah, of course, this also means, it's gonna be pretty hard to replace games when it's live matchmaking with Steamworks matchmaking unless you're working with code. So this has the downside that online is now dead. They've even made the change on the store page here where it is now listed as single player only. By the way, these games aren't relisted yet. Like these updates, I think were released yesterday or like 2 days ago. But I'm assuming these games will be sold again very soon. But they're all listed now as single player only. Wow, Lost Planet 2 Colonies is listed as cross-platform multiplayer. That's a weird tag to keep. Actually, no, they still have this tag. So I guess they haven't like fully updated all the tags yet. But yeah, since they've done this in a hacky way, another downside is that if I go into one of these games here, this is Street Fighter Cross Tekken. If OBS wants to show it. Hold on. I didn't have the layer active in OBS. Okay, here we go. So yeah, so one downside to this approach is that you still have like buttons for Xbox, for Games from Live, and they just do nothing. Well, they just tell you not signed in to Games from Live. And it seems kind of like a janky way to do this. And yeah, and this button just does nothing. This is supposed to be for the live guide. By the way, one thing that I highly recommend in this game is to run the benchmark on a modern PC. It's very fun. My average frame rate is 741 FPS. I think my computer can handle this game. I think it's powerful enough for online play. It's just too bad that I can't do online play because it's impossible. So yeah, I guess I can boot up another game here just to show how it is. But I don't know, this is kind of just a little bit sad. Like, I don't know why Capcom just didn't do proper updates for this. But by the way, another downside to all of this is that your old save games will not work. So when you boot this up now, I think what happens behind the scenes is that it's using like an offline games Windows Live profile, and those always had like their own save compared to using your like gamer tag account. And yeah, no, it's I just don't comprehend, because sure, yeah, there would be some work involved properly patching these games. At the same time, there's also work involved with what they're doing here, especially like actually trying to like patching bugs when you don't have access to source code. That's just pain and suffering. Let's see. I can't have the game muted right now because it's crazy loud. But when I boot up Lost My Planet Colonies, then yeah, like hold on, let me just the lower volume a little bit here. Um, da 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 da. That might be good enough, maybe. So you have a guide button. It just does nothing. If I go to online battle, you just get this generic message. You need to sign in. So I don't know, but yeah, you do have like offline stuff available. I mean, this is such a huge shame with Lost Planet. Like Lost Planet Colonies was a re-release of Lost Planet 1 where they added a ton of multiplayer content. I think single player wise it's identical, I think, to the first one. Actually, maybe these two modes are new, but they're not that special, to be honest. So that just, I don't know. This system link, I don't know if this like maybe this works, but I don't know. Who uses LAN these days anyway? So it's just, I think achievements are also entirely broken. Of course, like leaderboards are also broken. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. Why are they so mean? I don't understand why they would be so mean. And like Lost Planet 2, that was very much a game that was like meant to be played like co-op, like up to 4 players co-op. So this being like single player only, it just, I mean, I guess it's still better than nothing though, because there are companies out there that just let games die entirely. So this is better than nothing, and some of these games are really fun to play. Like single player also, at least with the Tekken, you can play this online using Parsec or Sim Remote Play, and I've never played this online. I guess it is possible you actually get a better online experience using Parsec, because if you go far enough back, plenty fighting games had really, really bad netcodes. So I guess this game is in the least worst state. But yeah, it's such a shame about Lost Planet. And then there's Operation Raccoon City, which well, from my point of view, the less said, the better, because I didn't appreciate this game. I gave a negative review when I reviewed this February 2020. But yeah, I guess yeah. So that's Capcom patch new stuff. It's good to see these games will probably no longer be delisted soon, and you can play them. But I want online. I want online, please. And I'm very, very, very puzzled why they decided to update these games in this way when like you use source codes, please. Oh, and also a quick shout out to Gibbed. He helped me like look into some of the binaries for these releases to see what was actually changed. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I don't understand Capcom. Capcom confuses me sometimes.